Welcome back to the channel. This is Holden from Classroom Camp, and in this video I'm going to be discussing the outrage being expressed by some parents who believe the new laws in Texas regarding students' use of cell phone at schools are a matter of concern. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to need to give you the background, so I want to set the context for you, and then we'll talk a little bit about what parents are saying and just my overall thoughts on this. Now, quick reminder, if you enjoyed this video, hey, consider liking it, subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on any of my educational news videos. But without further ado, let's actually go into the news and see what's going on. So, in the state of Texas, there is a new House bill that has been passed, and this article here talks about it. This is on, I don't know how to pronounce this, cow.com, but either way, the headline says, "No more phones in Texas classrooms. These are the new rules parents need to know." And in the article, it breaks it down. It says, as students prepare to return to class, two of the largest school districts in the Houston area, Houston ISD and Fort Bend ISD, are rolling out new cell phone bans under a new state law that takes effect this year. The law, House Bill 1481, requires all Texas school districts, to restrict students from using personal electronic devices during the school day. That includes cell phones, tablets, smartwatches, headphones, and earbuds. So, Houston has detailed their enforcement plan here, and let's take a look at this. It says that for the first offense, having a device, the device will be confiscated and returned to a parent after school. The second offense, device held until the next day. Third offense, device held for 2 school days. These policies will be in place across all HISD campuses as soon as the school year begins. Now, in my opinion, this policy is actually pretty lenient. This is similar to the policy that we had at our school last year. I was in a different district in Louisiana, and what we did is we held student cell phones till the end of the day, and the first offense we turned it into the office, and it was just basically the same idea. So in my opinion, it's not too bad, but the policy that I'm working with now, and I am in the state of Texas, is that if students have their cell phone out at all during the school day, or if it goes off during the school day, the teacher takes it up, turns it into the office, and the student has to serve an hour of community service after school in order to get that cell phone back. That's for the first offense. The second offense, they serve 2 hours. Third offense, they serve 3 hours, then 4 hours, then a max of 5 hours. So that's actually pretty severe. But hasn't really been, despite this being a new policy, I haven't really seen anyone upset about this. And parents that I have spoken with seem to be generally okay with this. But not all parents are the same, as we're going to see here, because there is an article that was published on cron.com, and the headline says, "Parents push back on Houston ISD's full-day phone ban, cite safety concerns." This is published on August 1st, 2025, and in the subheading, it says that, if, this is absurd to me, honestly, and, I hate to laugh at this, but basically the parent is saying that, if someone comes in, if there's a safety concern, if there's a shooter in the school, well, my child needs to be able to text me goodbye. I mean, that's pretty extreme. That's pretty extreme, and as you're going to see, is not, in my opinion, a reason to be upset over this new cell phone policy. The benefits outweigh the negatives, and we're going to look at that. But let's take a look at what parents are saying in this article. So it says, parents across Houston are voicing serious concerns and frustration over a newly announced Houston ISD policy that bans students from using personal electronic devices, including cell phones, during the entire school day. Many families say they are concerned about the lack of access to their children during the day, especially when school safety remains a top concern. This is crazy, in my opinion, considering the fact that phones have not always been around, students have not always had immediate access to their parents and guardians throughout the school day in the past. So why is it such a concern now? Is my question. And if you are a parent who wants to come up to the school and check on your child, then you can do that in most cases. And if children really need their parents, they can usually go to the office. Sometimes teachers have a phone in their classroom and they're able to contact their families in case of emergencies. So, going on about students not having access to cell phones throughout the entire school day, I think, in my opinion, is a bit ridiculous because it hasn't always been this way. And let's just continue on with this article. So, it says here, my middle schooler will have her watch tethered to her somehow / hidden, said one concerned parent in the Facebook group Supporters of HISD Magnets and Budget Accountability. Until Texas cares about school shootings, my child will carry a form of communication so they can contact me. I mean, the thing is like, in the event of a shooting, like, kids with their phones, they text things and put things on social media. Like, that's usually their first instinct. Sometimes they might call a parent in hysterically or something like that, and it's like, it adds to the chaos, it adds to the hysteria. You tell people online what's going on at your school, like that itself is a safety concern, and it makes the situation much worse when you're publicizing what's going on at the school. If there is some type of lockdown or emergency, you don't want to post those things. It opens the doors for other things to happen at the school when there is a shooting or something. And it's like, if you're a child and you're texting your parent during these situations, what realistically can a parent do? I mean, are they going to show up to the school and save the day? It doesn't make any sense to me because, and two, if a parent does show up, then they're in danger as well. Schools have these lockdown policies that they train teachers to handle these situations, and phones and being able to contact your parent in a dire situation like this does not make it any better. I have not seen a case or an example of when contacting your parent in an emergency like this has led to any good for the school. So continuing on, it says, another mother echoed that same sentiment. Until our state decides to protect children more than guns, my children will always have a way to immediately contact me at school. I don't give a flying F what the law or anyone says. I fully understand the concerns with distractions in the classroom, but if my child could be murdered in school, they're for sure going to be able to text me to say goodbye. I will die on this hill. I mean, look, that, like I said when I began reading this article, the benefits of the cell phone ban outweigh these minor instances. I mean, what is the likelihood that there is going to be a school shooting? And it varies, and there might be a higher likelihood in Houston. I don't know the statistics on that, but it's allowing all students to have access to their phones throughout the day, just for that reason, that if a shooter shows up and something is really going down at the school, that a student should be able to text their parent goodbye. That is not reason enough to allow phones and then allow all of the other downsides that come with it. The texting in school, the making TikToks, and just being distracted, not learning, filming teachers, all of the negatives that come along with that. Like, it does not justify, having the opportunity to say goodbye in the event of a emergency situation does not justify allowing students to have their phones. It just doesn't. Now, I don't want to minimize parents' concerns about being able to contact their children. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I want to make it clear that, for parents out there, teachers are fighting a battle in the classroom when it comes to students and their phones. It becomes a big distraction. There's all the things that I've mentioned, plus cheating and students doing other things in school that I won't even get into. And then the case of, what I see in the news more often than school shootings is students and teachers, communicating through personal devices, which is a whole other thing. As a matter of fact, the previous school that I went to fired a teacher because there was something going on through text messaging that was inappropriate. And in my opinion, that probably wouldn't, and I believe it was something that might have happened at school. And in my opinion, it probably wouldn't have happened if policies were stricter in this regard. So this isn't to minimize parents' concerns. I hear your concerns, and I know that you care about your children, but you need to realize that it is a big struggle with teachers in the classroom when students have their phones on them. Phones are a great tool to have, but in schools, I don't think that students are mature enough to know how to use their phones responsibly. And honestly, it's not the teachers' jobs. Amidst all the other things that teachers have to teach to children, it's not a teacher's job to teach them how to use a phone responsibly in class. Like, that's not what we're here to do. So, again, it's ridiculous. I think that the outrage, it is ridiculous, and I would hope that more parents can sympathize or empathize with teachers with their own kids and the situation that actually goes on at school. And I think that if you stepped into the classroom and you became a teacher for just a few weeks and you saw what it was like, then you would understand why this has become such a big deal. And it's not just Texas that is banning phones in schools. As I said, Louisiana, it's become a big deal. Certain school districts are going rogue on this issue and banning phones within the school district. I know that other states are doing it as well. So, it is, in my opinion, the future. Until there is a better solution, what we have to do is ban that use of technology. Students got Chromebooks, they got other access to technology in schools, and phones are not useful. They're not helpful at this point. So that's what's going on, and that's what I have to say. So I like the cell phone ban. I think it makes it easier for us because from my perspective as a teacher, it's not just our school that is banning phones. It's not just our district, but it is a state law now, which, that's our reasoning. It's like, look, it's against the law. Like, by law, we have to do this. We have to take up your phone. I'm not being mean to you. I'm not singling you out. I'm just following the law because otherwise, I could go to jail and I got to cover myself. So you got to follow the law as well. But anyways, those are my thoughts on this issue. The question now is, what do you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, thank you for watching this video. Like I said in the beginning, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things. Thank you for supporting Classroom Camp. That's all I got. So see you in the next one.